Conversation with Jocks, where we give you positive perspectives on our daily encounters.
Yeah, this is Jay.
Big O in the house.
Yo, this is C. Once again, thank you for tuning in to Conversation with Jocks.
Quiet storm. It's the quiet storm. Quiet storm of jock talks.
We'll be grooving all night long. Of course, we have J and O in the building. We have lovely ladies on the show, Rhonda and Nisha. Show's gonna be exciting. Let's see what's grooving and popping. How you doing, O?
Oh, I am chilling. Ready to get into it.
Jay, what's going on with you, man?
You know, it's always exciting over here on this side. You know, I was going through that little situation with my brother and the whole nine. Just looking to get through that, and everything will be gravy.
How's that working out?
Still yet to find out. But I could just sit. All I could do is just wait and see.
For those that don't know, I don't know if you're willing to go a little bit more into that. That's a pretty interesting situation.
I mean, yeah. The situation, my brother basically stole my identity and got locked up on some real serious charges. So now, you know, I'm looking to basically just clear my name. That's all. Before I mess around and get locked up too, you know. So
It's crazy.
yeah.
Own family.
Yeah, that's definitely not groovy, man. So, we have our ladies here, Rhonda and Nish. How you doing, Rhonda?
I'm good.
Are you really good?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
really good.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. How you doing, Nisha?
I'm peachy.
You're quiet over there.
I'm peachy.
Can you explain to the audience what peachy means?
I got my tea.
You got, what else you sipping on?
She got the sauce.
It's a Jack Daniel tea. I kind of had somebody brew for me.
Okay.
So it's really good. Helps with the throat, you know.
Got you.
Just everything
Got you.
else. Yeah.
Got you. Well,
I'm loving it.
Thank you for coming on the show. Since it's your first time here, a lot of things we talk about. Feel at ease to talk about anything. But right now, let's go into the cheat code.
Here we go. Today's cheat code. A lion will never eat grass, no matter how hungry he is. Be like a lion. Never lower your standards because someone expects that from you. Let's go.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Them standards got to be maintained.
So let's maintain it. So we got a wonderful show for you today. We have our ladies here. We have J, O, and C. The topic of today, whose responsibility is it to maintain a relationship?
So basically, between the male and the female, the question is, whose responsibility is it to maintain a loving or intimate relationship? And I take the standpoint that it's the female's responsibility to maintain the relationship. But I'm so interested to hear the perspectives of our guests and of course our members. I believe one of our guests had a question.
Okay. Yeah. This is Nisha. So define maintain.
Excellent question. So when we talk about whose responsibility is it to maintain the relationship, what are we talking about? Maintain. What does it mean to maintain? So to divide or to define the word maintain, we're saying the word maintain means to cultivate, to take care of, to take the responsibility of making it successful.
Okay, so you're taking a stance that it's a female's responsibility. What are they actually responsible for?
They are responsible for making the relationship happy, longevity, the longevity of the relationship, the happiness of the relationship, the beauty of the relationship. They're responsible for the health of the relationship.
That's a lot of responsibilities.
A lot of responsibilities.
Does anyone disagree with what he just said?
I do.
I disagree.
Okay.
Both guests disagree.
So, Nisha, you said something first. So, why do you disagree?
Because it takes two to keep the relationship sturdy, whatever, right? So to me, it's the responsibility of both individuals. And each individual has a role in the relationship. I don't think it's solely on one person. However, I do think to a certain extent, the success of a relationship is reflected, I would say, I would look at, okay, well, the man. So again, it's both responsibilities, but if it fails, I feel like God, as I call you men to be leaders, and where to a certain extent you guys are the head, we're the neck. That's how I look at it, and so we are there to help out in certain situations. You know, you guys may be weaker in one area, we're weaker in one area, whatever, but it's kind of like to me, in my opinion, he looks to you guys to lead that family. And if it falls, then it's on you. Now, again, as a woman, you still have responsibilities as well. So I'll leave it here and then let you guys
Jay,
not going.
Jay, you heard what she said. Do you agree with that? Or anything that you can relate to?
Because a lot of it was true.
I mean, yeah, she does have some very valid points, because it is not just one person in a relationship. You know what I mean? It does take two to tango. But, the perspective that I think she was speaking from is, how do I put this without, coming across some type of way? Not a lot of women think the way that she does.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
In reference to what?
In reference to allowing a man to actually lead and expecting a man to lead. We live in a society today now where women want to wear the pants too. And that's just what it is.
Very true.
So when you have a woman trying to put on the pants and a man putting on the pants, you always going to have problems. So that's just where I stand with that as far as, relationship. Okay. I try to stay away from, that toxicness.
Can I say something about that?
Sure.
So, and some women honestly can't really help it because they were raised in a single family household to where they have no choice but to wear the pants, so they don't know when to take it off. So I just wanted to add to that. Like, it is definitely not okay, but you have to be open to learning that,
I got a question for you. Why is it always okay for a woman to use that as an excuse? And I'm saying it to say this. When you have a woman that's, doing things on her own, she has to take on, she feels the need to act like a man. When a man is doing things by himself, with a single father, he doesn't take on the woman role. He stays in character. So why is it that women don't just stay in character? Woman.
So, okay. For me, my understanding of that is more learned behavior. So she most likely can't come out of it. Okay, I'm going to speak for myself. Okay, so I've been in that single mother role for a while. I've been in that even in being with certain type of men. I had no choice but to step up and be that woman because they couldn't even take on the men's role nor the women's role. So I had to manage both.
Do you feel comfortable taking on that role? Or would
No,
you rather?
I would rather not be in that situation.
And you're saying the guy should take that role?
To be a man, the man's role? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's how we were designed to be.
That goes back to what I said, though. That goes back to what I originally said. She's operating on a different playing field than majority of these women out here.
I mean, both of you guys are hitting on good points. Nisha started to say how being raised in a single parent home and seeing a single mother take on a responsibility, but it's the same for guys as well. Grow up in a single parent home, having a woman be the leader, the provider, and the emotional, mental support for a young man as well. So, seeing that, should a man have their woman lead if they were raised in that environment as a single parent and where their mother had to do everything?
No.
Yes, I'm curious to hear Rhonda's perspective before we dive too far into it. I love where it's going, but I want to hear Rhonda's perspective on why she believes that it is not solely the woman's responsibility to maintain the relationship.
Because there's two people in a relationship, so it just doesn't make sense to me for one person to have that responsibility by themselves. If she's doing all of that, what is the man doing?
Excellent question.
So at this point, we're discussing a woman's responsibility, which O brought out for bringing up a relationship. Nisha brought up good, valid points about being in a certain environment, single parent home, that you have to maintain a leadership because at times men don't. Now, we have a high support for, I think, where males should be. My opinion from this conversation, I'm getting more of a leading towards males should be responsible for the relationship or maintaining the relationship. I know you expressed before, but can you fine tune it for us to understand or define why a woman's role is to maintain a relationship?
I think we covered a great deal of it, and maybe we didn't recognize it. We identified that as the man's responsibility to lead. We also identified that whenever the man is not present, that leadership role has to be assumed. This is what Jay was talking about. Why does the woman have to assume the male's position in order to, raise the family or promote the family? And the answer is the male's role is absolutely necessary for the survival of just the existence. It has to be there. And when he's not there, the role is so important that the female has to assume that role. Someone has to take that role because by design, that role has to be there in order for the family to move forward.
What role exactly?
The leadership role. The masculine leadership role is essential in every household, to the point that whenever the male is not there, the female doesn't move forward in her femininity. She has to assume a lot of masculine traits in order to lead and take care of the family. If we just think about that for a moment, why Jay says the male single fathers don't assume the feminine qualities in order to maintain the family. But the masculine role is always assumed. Either he's got to be there physically or it has to be assumed because the family has to have direction. They have to go to a specific place. And that is the reason why I say it's not his responsibility to maintain, because he has other duties. He has other duties to lead and take care of the family. It's cut and dry to me. It's cut and dry to me. And so I'm not saying that the male should not have, I believe the male's responsibility is to develop the character that attracts the feminine. He should be hardworking. He should be loyal. And his qualities is how he contributes to the relationship. Those qualities that the feminine loves and admires is what creates the relationship in the first place. And so therefore it is her responsibility to maintain, as he leads, as he provides, she beautifies, she keeps the relationship. It's her responsibility to keep it all together because he is busy leading the ship.
Here's some strong points. Can anyone relate or agree or disagree with what he just said?
I mean, everybody playing their role at the end of the day. The roles have to be played. And I guess when, before he actually said what he said, when he says that it's up to a woman to maintain a relationship, it kind of comes across as the man just going to have his feet up.
Exactly.
You know, just laid back and watching the woman do everything. And, you know, people don't like that. Females don't like that. So, you know, they would disagree and say, you know, X, Y, Z. But, I mean, everybody got a role to play. You know what I mean? Everybody got a role to play. So I still stand by, you know, it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. But, you did make some good, valid points when when I was listening to what you were saying.
I'm hearing from the female's perspective and male perspective. I think what Nisha and Rhonda were saying is something similar to what O was saying, because first you guys said that you need a leader. You need someone to lead and take charge. O states that a man's job is to lead, and once he takes charge and set the path, everything else should be nurtured and maintained by the female.
Any perspectives on how I presented it? Once the viewpoint was elaborated a little bit more, do you guys still hold to the same viewpoint, or what's your position now?
I do. So, you said the man is busy leading and doing things. What else you say? You said leading.
Yeah, he's leading. He's leaving a legacy. He's doing his purpose.
Right.
But I also identified characteristics or traits that he should develop
Right.
in order to be the best mate he could be.
Right.
He should be honest. He should be faithful.
Mm-hmm.
He should be loving, thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
Those characteristics is what attracts the feminine.
Mm-hmm.
So he does have a responsibility in the relationship, but ultimately, so does the female.
Right. So both people have responsibilities. The woman is doing things too. She's taking care of the children, all that other stuff. So it just doesn't make sense to me for it to be specifically on the woman. They both have things that they're doing. So I think they should work together, on the relationship.
But that's not what I'm hearing. I'm not hearing that a guy is not going to do anything, and then it's all your job. From setting the goal and the path, that takes a lot of effort to make sure that the family or the unit is going in the right direction. And like you said, whether taking care of the kids or nurturing an environment to help facilitate that path or goal, it takes two people. So the guy, my opinion, is not sitting back, not doing anything.
Oh, I don't feel like the guy's sitting back and doing anything. That's never been my thought.
So two people have responsibilities.
Yes. And I feel both people responsibility to maintain the relationship.
Okay.
Maybe giving examples of what a responsibility is might,
Sure.
clear things up a little bit.
Yeah. What do you consider an example of maintaining a relationship?
I mean, I was hoping for you to answer that question. Give an example, because I'm trying to understand you a little more.
Sure, but I would like to understand the female's perspective on what is bringing flowers maintaining the relationship? Is paying the rent maintaining the relationship?
I got a question. Are we specifically talking about relationship, or are we talking maintaining a household? Because that's what it sounds like. And if we talking about relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, compared to, we're living together all in one, and the man is out here doing what he do, and the woman is at home holding down the household, maintaining the house. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. So we have to clarify there,
right? Because to me, it's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. We have to narrow it down. We have to be specific. So we're speaking about. It's very interesting. We're talking about ultimately a couple in the same household. If we can narrow it down to that and head in that direction. Now, living in two different households, does that create a different scenario?
I'm just saying, when you talk, we can keep it on, living in the same household. That's fine. That's fine. But I don't look at being in a relationship and someone maintaining a household at the same. So not in this context that we're putting it out.
Right. So would you say that if the rent is not being paid, that will impact the relationship? Rent being paid contributes to the maintenance of the relationship. So if rent is not being paid, does that put a strain on the relationship?
Yes.
It does.
Why would you live somewhere and not want to pay rent?
So right, that's a rhetorical question, I'm guessing.
Of course.
Right. So it's not that you don't want to do it. But what I'm saying, I see what you're saying. You're saying that if
it's gonna get done.
It's supposed to. Am I correct? It's supposed to be done. Sometimes it's not done.
Right.
There's diverse situations in life. Things happen, and sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Listen, I thought we was just talking about a relationship and not a household.
That's how I understood it.
And just what they said. That's the exact way I was looking at it.
Okay.
So
you make me happy. I make you happy.
Excellent. So let's take the household out and just focus on the relationship.
Yes.
In and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we're discussing about how to maintain a relationship of individuals not living together. If we say take the household, or you're just saying
whether they live together or not, we're not addressing the household.
Right.
We're only
just relationship. Their relationship.
The relationship.
Okay. So then how do you maintain a relationship without the household involved?
I'd like to hear that.
You can. You don't have to live with someone, to, I would say, to be in a relationship. So, to me, it's two separate things, as Jay is saying over here.
Agreed. Okay.
Yeah.
So, if there's an example, I'm calling every day, wishing good night. Every time you wake up, saying good morning. Is that all maintenance? Is that hey, is your car running okay? Hey, are you having lunch for your work? Oh, is that part of maintaining? Is that? I mean, I'm trying to get more specific. What is maintaining this relationship?
All those examples, right. All those examples that you just gave, that is a part of maintaining a relationship. If I wake up in the morning and I don't think about my girl all day. Well, I could be thinking about her, but I don't reach out to her all day. Am I really doing my part in trying to maintain this relationship? Or should I just say, you know what? She the woman. Yeah, I'm thinking about her, but she need to be thinking about me too. So she need to text me good morning first or call me good morning first. You see what I'm saying?
So you're saying that they need to do it first, or it doesn't make a difference?
No, I'm saying that both parties need to be on their job.
I see.
That's what I'm saying. Both parties need to be on their job. I can't always be the one texting good morning, and she's not supposed to be the one always texting good morning. It's a two-way street.
Okay.
But there are some relationships where they live together, so then the household to a certain extent would apply, but not where you're looking at household chores. More so, okay, we wake up next to each other, and as a woman that's, I don't know, my man's going to work, let me go make him breakfast. Mm-hmm. That's still maintaining to me. Yeah. You're not looking at household chores, but more so what you do as, a woman, and you're maybe staying at home.
Right, in a sense, taking care of his needs. So that maintaining relationship is maintaining your significant other's needs.
Yep.
Anything else we missing for maintaining a relationship? What other things are important?
Yeah, so far we're identifying that addressing the needs is part of maintaining.
Okay. So even emotional needs, is that also maintaining?
That's all.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Financial needs too.
Financial needs, emotional needs, certain tasks. Anything else?
We mentioned characteristics.
What about the love language? You guys heard about the love language?
Certainly.
Right. So we talked about this, right? Mm-hmm. Just understanding the individual's love language. And a lot of the times we tend to speak to other people in our love language, and then it fails, and then we get upset. So I think that's also maintaining a relationship, to take the time to understand the other individual, what they love, their love language, and speak to them in their love language. Mm-hmm. And I failed a lot there, where a guy's love language might have been words of affirmation, and I might be gifts, and I'm over here showering him, and to him that means nothing. So just overall, I think that's important as well.
Yes, so it's I heard what you're saying. You're saying it's important for you to learn your significant other's love language so that you can serve them. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Perfect.
Okay. And so
woman's responsibility.
So we're not getting there. First, let's just define all the things that are considered maintaining a relationship. What about validating a man's thoughts, views, or even their emotions? Is that important to maintain a relationship?
It is.
It is important.
Especially if that's his love language.
Okay, so you're saying all ties in the love language.
Yes.
Okay. Or how about catering to a guy's catering to someone or their female where they are emotionally drained, and what I say unstable, and trying to nurture them. Is that all part of maintaining a relationship as well? If a guy doesn't see that you're not emotionally there, where you need to be nurtured in some way.
I think both can do that, or should do that for each other.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we talked about certain tasks, emotional needs, love language, financial needs are all important for maintaining a relationship. So someone has to spearhead and take responsibility for maintaining this. So Rhonda, who would you say have to
maintain a relationship?
Do all the things that we just discussed?
I say both.
Both? Mm-hmm. Okay, but my thing in life, anybody's job becomes nobody's job, and the job will never be done. That's my take on it. So if you see someone lacking or slacking off and not taking initiative, whose job is to do something? Whose job is to, hey, you know what, we're slipping, and we need to get back on page. See, nobody's responsibility.
The choir is quiet. Boy.
I think the man's.
So okay, so you're saying man. So based on all the things that we just listed, Why is it a man's responsibility?
Because he was called to be a leader. That's it. And I'm here to help, but you're called to be a leader. You're leading the family. Again, it's a still relationship. This is not roles and responsibilities. So if things are falling in the relationship, now I get it where if things are falling in the relationship, I think that he should be the one to kind of, hey, you know what? We're really losing it here. Let's get it back together. If he's not that person, because I've experienced that where men aren't, then yes, it fell on me. But this goes back to environment. Like I was trying to tell Jay over here, where sometimes that ends up happening. And of course, the relationship ended, ships ended then. But I feel like when you have a strong man, just, that's taking care of that, then I'll put it like this. There's never been, if a guy comes to me and say, hey, things are going bad. Let's really let's kind of evaluate the situation. I would love and respect him more. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I'll be like, oh my goodness. Like it's nothing better than having a guy with that type of strength. And so, I'm sure you guys might feel the same about a woman, but I feel like it's so much more attractive when you guys have that to say, hey, this is my responsibility. I might be talking too much, but
No.
Same way how I look at when it comes to, maybe I'm just old school. I feel like as a man, now this is more responsibilities, but I feel like a man's mindset should be, I am here to protect, to provide for my family. There's nothing better than having a woman, because I feel like, hey, 2 incomes are better than 1. I want to provide, or I provide in a different way as well. But either way, it's like there's nothing better than a man just having that type of mindset to say, I'm here to protect my family, to provide for my family regardless of what. To me, I look at it the same way, where it's like he just has that strength, where he recognizes God placed me on this earth to be a leader. And there are other things that my wife is responsible for as well. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like when it comes to him, if anything happens to where the relationship fails, it's a reflection on him.
Yes, I hear what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Point taken. But it begs the question: what is the purpose of a relationship in the first place? Because biblically centered, his responsibility, his purpose is the center stage. And nowadays, the relationship has somehow took center stage. When the purpose of the relationship was for him, it was for his purpose. So he had a purpose before he had a relationship. God gave Adam a purpose. He had a job to do. He was doing his job. The purpose for the relationship was to help him. The relationship was intended to help him. The relationship is not, so in today's society, the relationship is the main course. And things are centered around the relationship.
No, things are centered around the woman in the relationship. Think about happy wife, happy life.
Which is false.
I'm just telling you about society. I'm telling you about society. Everything is all good when the female is happy. But when the man expresses his displeasure in relationships, it goes on deaf ears. And that's just the way society is. Now, obviously, I hear y'all, right? But this is the thing. It's not about the minority. It's about the majority. And majority always rules. And like I said, you're operating from me listening to you talk, you're operating on a different playing field than majority of these women out here. And that's a fact. So yeah, you don't have a problem letting a man be a man. From what I've been hearing you say, you don't have a problem doing it. But majority of women have a problem with a man being a man.
Do you agree with that? Do both of you guys agree with that statement? Or do you guys feel that you're in a minority, that you believe in allowing or supporting a man in his natural leadership role Do you find that to be true amongst other females?
Yes. Females that I know.
Okay.
I find that to be true.
Okay. And
the majority of my friends, honestly, are from the church. So we've been taught that that's how it should be. And so yes, the majority of them do believe in men being leaders. So
okay.
And that men being happy is important.
Right.
I don't believe
also,
in a whole happy wife, happy life.
I would say, going back on Jay's point, it takes a lot for a female to recognize when a man is dissatisfied, because a lot of times their needs are put in front of a man's need. And a lot of time, just to keep the peace,
we keep our mouth shut.
Yeah. Don't express maybe their hurt or what they're feeling. You know what? It's not important. I'll suppress those feelings. I'll move through. Let me do what I need to do to keep her happy. And it could be bottled up for a long period of time. And the man is slowly suffering. Feelings are not getting validated. It's being ignored. And he feels that he has to take the load on making her happy. And a lot of times he's not happy.
Yeah. He could say, if he says, I'm hurt, he fears that she will say, I'm hurt that you said you was hurt. And so now you have to address my feelings of being hurt because you just said you was hurt. And then his feelings never get addressed.
It's also a choice. You can choose to bottle up your feelings or express them. I mean, it doesn't matter what the other person is going to do. I feel grown people, should express how they feel. And give the person a chance. Even if you fear that she might not understand or won't validate you, at least try. When you don't try and you decide to hold it in, that's your fault.
I see, Ron, you've never been in a toxic relationship.
and I was just about to say that.
Well, I guess.
But you also just missed. You also just missed what he said. If me and you were in a relationship, right, and I come to you and I say, you know what, I'm unhappy because of I felt you did this, right? The typical response is, well, I did that because of this, and now we're addressing your issue instead of my issue. And
the way you said it hurt my feelings.
All of that. And that's the typical response.
And let me give you an example of a toxic relationship. Whether you live together or you just come to your whoever you're with, your significant other, and you say, hey babe, hey hun, any words of endearment. I feel a certain way when you said this. In a toxic relationship, well, the reason I said it because you did this and that. And then the guy said, okay, I apologize. I didn't mean for that to happen. Well, you shouldn't have let that happen. Okay, cool. But let's go back to how I feel. No, why are we talking about that? You're the one that did this. Okay, you know what? Why am I going to argue? I just had a busy day at work. I was stressed out with certain things I needed to do.
Right.
Screw it. Whatever. You're happy? I won't do it again. Move on.
Yeah.
Was my feelings validated?
I'm not saying these things.
We don't want to battle the world and then got to come home for round 2.
Right. I'm not saying these things don't happen. I'm saying it's your responsibility, being in a relationship, being an adult, to say how you feel.
For that example, he said how you felt. So and let me give you an example now, because we talked about responsibility for a male where you gave valid points. The reason why it's responsibility for a female is to listen. Listen to even the subtle comments, or when a man comes down from his pride and says something how he was hurt. It's not, in that moment, it's not important to talk about your feelings. He said something, address his. There's no need to bring up how you felt prior to that.
Because this ain't about you.
I'm not disagreeing with any of this.
That's your responsibility. My opinion, of course. I'm strong to my opinion.
Yes. When somebody brings a problem to you, you listen and address it. Right. I'm not disagreeing.
A nurture environment.
Yes. I'm just saying that whatever you feel, you have to speak on it. You have to communicate. No matter what you think the response is going to be. That's all I'm saying. Don't bottle it up.
You know what's happening right now?
What?
See, they not toxic. And that's why, that's why, they basically understand us.
Right.
You understand? They understand the male's perspective because they're not toxic.
Right.
Because I guarantee you, if y'all had a third friend and she happened to be toxic, things wouldn't be going the way they're going right now.
And give you example of a person who's been in a toxic relationship and know how to maneuver a toxic relationship. This is the mindset they would have, or mindset I would have. And someone will come up to me, "Hey, see, you seem always cool and calm and collect." I said, "Yeah, because
I'm toxic."
No. When I hear somebody saying something that is maybe stupid or doesn't make sense, I back down and say they're right. Then the person say, "Well, that doesn't make sense. That's stupid." You're right. I don't need to win the battle.
Yeah.
Right.
If you win, you feel you won, then hey, good. And that's how you avoid a toxic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, some of them toxic relationships be fun though.
I don't know about that. I would say I came from. I'm not gonna lie. I came from from toxic relationships to where it became this tit for tat. If I try to express myself, it was like, well, blah blah blah, and it's like, okay, but this is not your time to kind of, shine, or as they call it today, gaslighting. And so I think like what I've created in my past relationships were that if, for one, we should all be able to be open and kind of express how you feel, how I feel. And it's not my time to say, well, I mean, there are times where there's really like, okay, well, I did this because, but like to really let the person understand that you acknowledge what they're feeling at that time because they brought it up to you. So instead of, I did this because, then it becomes this battle, and most of the times men tend to shut down, I guess, where they feel like they're not being heard, or vice versa. So I understand where you guys are coming from. I've never been in a relationship where a guy's just like, you know what, honey, you win. I don't, and maybe it's because of the lack of maturity, but
But we're not saying that as a good thing, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a good thing,
right.
But at the same time, it's still like, I'm just saying like in relation to like where I came from. So like it's just hearing you guys say that, I'm just like, wow, there are men out there that do that. So it's kind of,
all of us do it.
Yeah, well, that's good. All three of you do it.
All men anticipate. All men recognize the possible dangers of expressing their feelings to their female, and through experience, and a lot of times they anticipate what will be said, and they would avoid more trouble by just not sharing. There is some way along the line he learned that it's better, safer, easier to either keep it to himself, because she's just not going to take accountability for what he's expressing or feeling.
Listen, boy, that word accountability, they run from it. They run from the word accountability.
I have experienced I am usually the one in relationships where I'm just like taking accountability, and then the guy takes advantage of it. So like I said, I've been dating apes or whatever, but it's not you guys. So I could say I'm sorry y'all went through that, but It doesn't sound like it's a good thing. But to a certain extent, I would prefer a guy to come in like what you guys are talking about, because I've never had that.
Oh,
I haven't had that.
Okay. And so, if a guy expressed a displeasure with you, how would you handle it?
I would listen, and I would acknowledge and try to get an understanding, and opposed to defending myself, more so respond, okay, I understand. Well, you know what? I can work on that. That's
okay.
What I tell you? I try to tell you. I try to tell you.
So
I'm just saying. Let's be real. See, when have y'all ever heard that?
This is my take on it. I think most females are emotionally intelligent to say that. Most of them are. The great majority are. I think the challenge comes in real time. Mm-hmm. In the relationship, what is being said. Because most females, both male, and so I'm not saying this to sound misogynistic. There are healthy females, there are unhealthy females, there are healthy males, and there are unhealthy males. And I think it's, relatively 50-50. But I believe the society that we live in today, the purpose of the relationship has changed from its original design.
Definitely.
And there are a lot of men that abuse their position of leaders. There are tons of homeless shelters where there are abused women and children. These things do exist. However, it does not change the fact that the purpose of a relationship is to help the male in his endeavors and his purpose in life, and that relationship should have someone that will take responsibility of maintaining the relationship while he continues to be a high quality man. I'm not saying that he should be neglectful to her. I'm not saying that he should, put his foot up and have her barefoot and pregnant. He should be a quality guy. And as he lives his purpose, her responsibility should be to maintain the relationship.
I think we had a wonderful show. We talked about a lot. To conclude, we define what maintaining a relationship is, where there is doing tasks, emotional needs, love language, financial needs. And then we discussed the responsibility for a male, which was discussed strongly by Nisha and Rhonda, where they stated that a man is called to become a leader, where women are made to help. A strong male will take charge. A man mindset should be in a position where they provide and protect. We talked about responsibility for a female, where the purpose of the relationship is to help a man become their helpmate. If you disagree with anything we said, let us know.
Yeah,
thanks,
they're
guys.
They gonna be in the comments calling y'all pygmies.
And that wraps up another thought-provoking episode of Conversations with Jock. If you want more engaging content and exclusive behind-the-scenes moments, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Jock Talks. For the complete episodes and really bonus content, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jock Podcast. We appreciate your continued support and look forward to bringing more inspiring conversations in the future. Stay curious, stay motivated, and keep striving for personal growth. Until next time. This is Conversation.